Hey gamers, this is Liz Davidson from Beyond Solitaire, and today I'm going to be reviewing Rococo, designed by Matthias Kramer and Louis and Stefan Maltz. This is the Deluxe edition, published by Eagle Gryphon Games. So here's a setup of Rococo. As you can see, the board is huge. It's a real showstopper, and Enotel did a great job of capturing the art and style of this age. So the premise of Rococo is that you are a dressmaker and you are trying to get the most prestige out of all the other players by making the very best dresses, funding monuments, and generally making sure that this king's ball is going to be an enormous success. And to do that, you're going to use your employee cards to take one of 6 actions on each of your turns, and then of course sometimes there are bonus actions as well. Employees are really the heart of the game. They drive the actions that you can take. They're also the timer. After every round, the employees who are available for hire get wiped, and then you replace them from the employee deck. When you run out of employees, 7 rounds later, the game is over. So probably for me, the most compelling thing about this game is that it comes with so many good decisions, because rather than randomly draw employees from your hand like a traditional deck builder, you actually get to choose which employees you take into your hand for an upcoming round. Your starting hand is going to have 2 masters, 1 journeyman, and 2 apprentices. And basically a master can do all of the actions available to you. A journeyman can do most of the actions. And then apprentices can do a lot, but they're a little bit more limited. Each employee is also going to have a bonus action, although your starting masters do not have any bonuses at all. But you're going to try to select your employees based not only on the actions they can perform for you, but the bonuses that they offer. There's several employee levels that you're going to go through throughout the game, so some of the most powerful employees don't actually show up until the very end. So for an upcoming round, you're going to choose 3 of your employees that will then go into your hand. The rest will remain in your deck, and then you're going to have a discard pile of employees that you've previously used. So you're eventually going to have to go through your full roster of employees in order to get access to your discard pile and get some of your favorites back again. With those employees, there are a few different things you can do. One is simply to gather resources. In order to make dresses, you're going to have to get resources, and resources in this game include bolts of silk, as well as thread and lace. So as you can see, the Deluxe Edition has great thread and lace tokens, but your starters won't be enough. You're going to need more. You need fabric to make the dresses, you need thread and lace to bring it all together, and each of the dresses down here has a cost in materials that you'll need to pay in order to manufacture the dress. Your second option is to fund a monument, and there are various monuments scattered across the board. There are musicians in the hallways, there are fireworks in the fireworks display, which can also give you a massive bonus at the end of the game if you've played your cards right. There's statues in the middle, and there are also kitchen monuments that you can fund that increase your income round to round. So if you fund one of these monuments, you get extra income per monument you funded. If you fund one of these, then you get extra income per dress you've placed out on the board. So while the game is about dressmaking, you also need to be paying attention to monuments because they really help with your scoring and they give you additional income in the game depending on the strategy you pursue. The third action you can take is to depute an employee. As I said, you have to go through your entire deck of employees before it cycles, and there may be employees who just aren't really doing it for you anymore, so what you would do is depute them. Every employee has a little cost in the bottom left. That's what you get in money back when you depute them. You're essentially putting their work on loan to the crown. And then you get to take their bonus action one more time before their card leaves the game. So deputing employees is a way to make money and also thin your deck. And then we get into actions that are a little more limited. These first 3 actions, any type of employee can take. This 4th one, make a dress, can only be taken by a journeyman or a master. And some dresses can be made only by masters, as denoted by the golden thimble at the top of the dress. Or frock coat if you're doing a men's garment. In order to make a dress, as we mentioned, you have to pay the cost in resources that is printed on the dress token or the frock coat token. And then once you've made your dress, paid your resources, there are 2 options for you. You can either sell off the dress for money, and there is a value down here in the bottom left. So you're going to be tempted to do that because money is always short in this game and you always want more of it. Alternatively, you rent the dress out for prestige points. So if you want points at the end of the game, you need to be putting dresses out here in these halls. So if you sell a dress, it's got a short-term benefit. If you place a dress, it may have multiple long-term benefits in terms of your scoring. Whenever you decide to rent a dress out, you get to choose a space that's open to place it on. These are again limited to masters because of that golden thimble. So the symbols throughout the game are very consistent. But some spaces will also give you a bonus, like money or a thread. And there's also a lot of strategy to where you place your dresses because there are bonuses for being the first to have presence in every single hall that's available. So of these 5 halls, if you can get a dress or a monument in all of them, then you get a bonus. And you also want to pay attention to what's going on in this royal hall because at the very end of the game, dresses that are here can be placed up here to watch the fireworks in fireworks spaces that you have funded, thus granting you a lot of extra points. And I've seen this game turn on the massive point bonuses that come from the fireworks display. There are also points to be earned for having the majority in each individual hallway. So you're going to want to be thinking about, I guess, sartorial area control while also trying to make enough money with the dresses that you create. A master or journeyman can also come and court the queen's favor. No apprentices needed here. So if you want the queen's favor, you get to take the token for the turn, you get 5 money, and you also get the first player token, which is fittingly a golden thimble. If you have the queen's favor at the end of the final round, you also get an additional 3 prestige points. So if you've taken an action to grab it in the last round, it has a little scoring bonus as well. And then our final action is one that only a master can take because only a master can choose an employee. So this one's hiring an employee. If you take that action with your master, you can come over here and take a new employee directly into your hand, which gives you an additional action on the round where you hire them, which is pretty great. One thing that I'll mention about employees, and I also forgot to mention over here for the resources, is that the cost of an employee or of a resource changes depending on how depleted the supply has become. The first person to buy an employee from the employee market will pay 5 coins. The second will pay 3, then 1, and then the last employee is just free. Similarly over here, if you are taking a resource from a drawer that is full, it'll cost you 2. If there are 2 resources left, it costs you 1, and if there's only 1 left, it's free. So you can try to save money by taking other people's leavings, but you really only want to do that when it's convenient for you. So this is essentially what you do during a game of Rococo. You get materials, you fund monuments, you create outfits, and you hire employees to help you do it. If you do it well, you're going to get a huge score and feel really proud about how you played the game. So in a solo mode for this game, you also have to operate the AI, which fortunately is quite simple, because you're going to be going up against Madame du Barry, this lovely card deck of cards that are going to make your life difficult. Madame du Barry really works to simulate a real opponent, but she's slightly overpowered to make up for the fact that she can't think through her moves, strategize, or watch what you're doing. So she doesn't have any money, but she does collect resources and score for them at the end of the game. She doesn't use employees, but she does hire them to take them away from you and put into her employee stack. And she will absolutely put dresses out, fund monuments, and do all of this in a much more relaxed way than you because she doesn't have to spend any money. In order to play Madame du Barry, all you do is for her turn, you shuffle all of her cards. You take 4 cards from that deck for her round, and then on her turn, you flip 1. So each of these cards, so for this one, you know that she's going to take resources, and she's going to take the entire middle drawer, basically, worth of resources. The card is going to tell you what to do. If for some reason Madame du Barry absolutely cannot take the action on the card, she gets 3 prestige points. And then there's also information at the bottom of the cards. This one has to do with the jewelry expansion, which is an expansion to Rococo. And this one, when you place a dress for Madame du Barry, you draw an additional card, and it will tell you which hall the dress is going to be placed in. So Madame du Barry functions quite a bit like you do. She's going to fund monuments, for example. And there are AI rules that are going to help you figure out where to place things, what her priorities are, and her turns are very quick, thus enabling you to get back to your plotting and your strategizing. So it's a very quick overview of Rococo and how to play it. Let's get to some final thoughts. All right, so now for some final thoughts. I want to just say outright, I love Rococo. I'm so glad I own this game. I have so much fun playing this game. I am taking it to game night tomorrow night, and I ask people to play it with me whenever possible. When I move apartments, I actually have a friend who loves to cosplay and make dresses, and I want to have her over to play Rococo because it's just such a good game. I think the thing I love the most about this game is the employees and the way that they work. Getting to choose my hand, thinking about what actions I want to take, and then just really trying to maximize the employees that I play and the bonus actions that they offer It is just the best when you manage to wring a whole lot out of a turn. It's really exciting. I never get tired of it. I actually spend other people's turns when I'm playing with other people obsessing about when it's going to be my turn again, because I just can't wait to do the thing that I want to do next. One of the things that solo is actually great about is that the AI turn is very short, which means that it's not too tough to do whatever Madame de Berry needs to do. And then we're back to the part of the game that I like, which is like me thinking about how to eke out the very most from my cards, from my turn, plotting, strategizing, and that's what I really like to do the best with this game. It's really a midweight game. It's not super difficult mechanically, but there's just so much to think about that it's just a satisfying play. I like that there are multiple paths to victory as well. You can go really heavy on garment making, or you can fund a lot of decorations, or you can try for some kind of middle ground. And you can do something like choose to get into every single hall, or you can pick halls that are going to give you area majority and then get bonuses from those. So choosing how you want to spend your resources and your time in a very limited 7 rounds is super fun. You're going to try different stuff over time, and every time you're going to at least feel like you did something. One of the things I also really like about Rococo is that whether or not I win, I can set a goal in this game and like think about what I want to happen next and feel a sense of agency when I play. And for me, that's actually probably more satisfying than winning a game where I didn't really feel like it was a big deal to win because I didn't make any choices. Rococo is full of choices, but not so full of them that it's overwhelming. The Deluxe edition is a stunner as well. O'Toole's art and graphic design is just second to none in the industry, and I think we all know that, but it bears repeating. I love that his art captures the crazy, fancy glory of the era, but it's also extremely functional because there's symbols on the board that I see and I know, okay, I can only put a master here. Or, oh yeah, that part comes off the board because it's got an arrow. Or, you can actually just look at your little player card and with no text, you know what steps you need to take to make sure that you're ready for a next round. And to me, that is just amazing, and I'm really impressed with how this game is visually so stunning and so elegant, but also so incredibly functional. I will also say in favor of solo that Madame de Berry is a very challenging opponent, sometimes maybe a little too challenging because everything is free for her. You have to play a very good game to beat her a lot of the time. And I honestly very rarely do. I think I've only won solo for this like a couple times, and it was games where I drew super well and Madame de Berry did not play as strongly as she normally does. In fact, that is actually linked to my one big beef with solo mode for this game, which is that Madame de Berry is a tough opponent, which I like for solo. However, because she's not human, she's not necessarily a smart opponent, so sometimes she'll just take all the resources like 3 turns in a row or something like that. And like that's all she does. And other times she'll make that dress that you had your eye on that you wanted to make, or she'll take your frock coat. But the thing is that because she doesn't actually take any resources, she didn't have to work for that the way that you were working for it. And like I'm aware, Madame de Berry is not a real person. She's a deck of cards. But when you're playing with other people, sometimes it feels really fun to kind of eye what other people are taking and think about what they might be trying to make, and they do the same thing to you. With Madame de Berry, it feels a little cheaper when she scoops you because she didn't have to take the resources to do that. She let you do all the prep work and then just flounced it and took something from you for free. So as a solo mode, this is a great effort at a good combination of efficiency and ruthlessness, which I think that most solo players like. However, it does have certain drawbacks because this is one of those games where a lot of the best strategic moves are the most satisfying when they're made with other people who are really watching and strategizing along with you. And this is a deluxe game. This is a very expensive game. I don't remember how much it costs, but the price is over $100. And I think that it's important to remember that when you're thinking about this game for solo, because is this a great game? Yes. Am I glad I own it? Yes. Is it ever leaving my collection? No. But if it was only for solo, would I buy it? I think that that's where I'm not totally sure. I like the solo mode for this game, but it's because I like Rococo. I think that I play the solo game because I feel like playing the Rococo and there's nobody around. I don't necessarily think, oh, Rococo is a great solo game, let me play that on solo game night. And that's a distinction that I think a lot of us solo players have to make. You know, do I like this because the solo mode is great? Or do I like this because the solo mode is giving me access to a game that's great? And I think that in Rococo's case, it's the latter. I don't know that I would shell out the full price for this for just solo play. But I do enjoy solo play when I want to kind of sharpen my Rococo skills in preparation for taking somebody out at game night, which I very much hope to do tomorrow. But I might not because my gaming group is also brutal. So it's a good solo mode. It's a great game. I do recommend having this in your collection if you can afford it and if this is the sort of game that you like. However, if you're looking for something that's for pure solo, I do think that there are games that do pure solo better than Rococo does. That said, it's one of the all-time greats for me. I hope that you enjoy it as well. And be on the lookout for my how to solo video so that you can try Rococo out yourself. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and actually I recently started a Patreon, so if you're willing to be my patron, I would super appreciate it. These garments gotta get made somehow. But most of all, everybody, happy gaming.